I'm here with Cam of Seven Kingdoms to talk about their new record, crowdfunding, Kickstarter. Man, there's like 10 different names for the same thing. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. First of all, welcome. Thanks for taking the time. And let's get right into it. Crowdfunding campaign. What can you tell us about it? I know it just started.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure. We've always done well, not always. We started doing label stuff when we first started in 2006 was our first thing. But I think our first record came out in 2007. But essentially we jumped from a couple labels. We eventually ended up on Napalm, and then what was funny is right before we signed the Napalm deal for the back catalog is we had just released uh the an EP and then Decennium, which is what eventually was signed to Napalm plus all the back records. So that was after we went to Europe and lost a ton of money. So like we had no money. Like it was how are we gonna even make our like something happen? And a lot of young bands, it's almost like the whole job market where it's like, we can't hire you because you don't have experience, but the only way you to have experience is to have the job kind of thing. So that's very much what a young band goes through when they're supposed to produce a record that sounds very good. And then, I mean, now it's easier. When we first started, like I mean, this is almost 20 years ago at this point. Jesus. Like, so, the recording, the laptop stuff wasn't as awesome, and easy and as accessible back then. So, we always spent a lot of money recording and we're proud of having the good tools and it sounds really good. So that was where all this started is how do you give a label a product, but it gets paid for? Because traditionally, like small bands, like you don't even get an advance. Like they just like, oh, we'll see how it does, and then you get a split, and then it never that always baffled my mind, when we were growing it up. So we eventually ended up on crowdfunding. It was more because of a necessity. I saw a couple of other bands do it, and they were successful, and I was like, this is great. It's just a pre-order, but like it's a public pre-order and people can kind of be behind that goal rise,
Mhm.
and then it gives you like an opportunity to really, the fans are the label, like, you know what I mean? The label is the distribution and the promotion of a working cycle and logistics. I mean, it's an important part once you get to a certain size for sure. But until you get to a point where you either need to partner or you get outright signed because you just don't want to deal with it anymore, or not outright signed, but outright you just hand that whole logistical part over, which is kind of where Kickstarter and crowdfunding is because we become like the middleman. It's not really we are the label, but like we're physically getting the product, buying it, and then sh sending it out,
Mhm.
and however which way you do that is how you decide to do your campaign. But the way we do it is just to essentially cover the cost of recording and then cover the cost of the stuff that we're producing. And it's the only way to do it. Like, I mean, it's not really the only way to do it, but we've done it. This is our seventh one. So it's just kind of those like if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And like I said, we're on our way for this one. We always try to scale up when we do the records, and bring a better product every time. And the data suggests that that's in our favor, and we've spent the time mostly with the new music. I mean, you'll hear it, I'm sure, soon. But I'm sure you'll be able to tell. Like it should be. I'm expecting it, and I'm confident enough to be like, I'm hoping to see it on the top of the lists. Hopefully for this year. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out this year. So in a nutshell, that's why we did it. We've been doing it, and it allows us to it makes us closer to the fans too, because we have to sit there and deal with it, you know,
Yeah, that was going to be my
with the
next question. I
stamps.
mean, you guys have experience. It's not like this is your first rodeo. You've done it a bunch of times. So, how much of that experience also gives you the confidence to continue to do it? Because do you feel like, well, there's nothing we haven't seen that it's going to be thrown our way? Like we were already pretty knowledgeable about the process and what needs to happen and when it needs to happen, like the whole thing. That does having that experience make things even easier for you to take this approach?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yes, for sure. I mean, the cool thing is there's three EPs, and this will be the third album, and there's that like tiny little single in the middle. So essentially like I'm the spreadsheet guy, right? So I have all the data from the previous EP to EP and then album to album. So I can see the rate of growth from EP to EP and so on and so forth. And I remember what we spent obviously on all those things. So, that's where we measured. I mean, it's a big goal. I mean, it's like the first goal is 51 like thousand, and I think the second goal, the main goal, what we're gonna do regardless is like 61 and a half or something like this. That's like that includes shipping. Like it's a $7,000 shipping bill, So like, just the soft merch is like 15 grand, just to fulfill 500 perks, something like that. People don't realize, to become a successful band, like the band has to turn over like 50, $60,000 a year before anybody sees a dime, at least. And it depends on how big the band is. Like people, it's a serious business, It's a serious business quickly. And you're doing a lot of stuff that like, it's like a little restaurant kind of thing, and then you just have to figure out how to like turn it into a franchise, basically.
Take it from just one single store down the corner to like a store down the corner at every single city.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where touring comes in essentially. Is you have to build the people that buy the pies like in every city.
Do
And they
you
gotta
keep
like the
track?
pie.
Yeah, that the pie is the main thing.
Yeah, they
That
gotta
you have to
eat.
figure out how to get it to the people, but first you have to have the pie.
Yeah, they gotta want it, and that's the thing is like right now it's a great metaphor, right? It's for pies, right? So it's just like, like we try to do all the pictures and here's everything, like we can't we're saving a lot of information, maybe a little bit more information than we have on previous campaigns, like the track listing is not out yet. But like there's two shirts that have like, things on them, like names, so that's for a bunch of other stuff that's coming. But it's we're this is the very first part of essentially like a 4 or 5 month campaign that's eventually going to be a thing. So there's a lot of surprises. I can't necessarily say things right now, but there's going to be a lot of other bands that I'm sure we're going to have conversations about coming up. That are going to kind of come down this crowdfunding chain through me actually after we get done. I have a lot of plans for all. I mean, the bands that we manage at least at Hard Impact. A bunch of them are kind of starting to move this way also. So those are also going to pop up at the end towards, middle of the year, end of the year kind of things.
And since you're a spreadsheet guy, let me ask you this. Do you keep track in terms of where you are? For example, after let's say a month, after a month, do you look at, okay, where are we in this cycle for this out for this release after a month versus where we were in previous ones after a month? Do you look at that kind of data? Are you that much into the weeds?
Not, I mean, I guess it's not quite day by day. The pace of a band is it's funny because I try to tell like my tax guy, like at the end of the year, he's like, yo, like it's like this and there's
Yeah,
time off and then it's like this and then there's time off, right? So it's like it's funny, it's not a stable job and it's a difficult market. So like you have to really be able to like maximize, the times you can, earn income. That's why many people see me other elsewhere other than the stage.
that's true.
So but it also helps, you know what I mean? Like all that time on the road working, it also paid, but it also like helped propel, our what we do. So, it all works hand in hand. But like as far as like the day to day, I mean, it's more like today, like with the campaign, for example, like the Kickstarter, I am comparing it to like the last two albums, like the speed, mostly the velocity, when we have stuff. It's a lot of a Kickstarter to me is, if it's inside a month, you have your launch, which is your biggest hit, and you get as far as you can with that, and then it's like almost every single one, it just gets chopped off, and then it just goes like this until you have to plan little events or little days of
To kind of
grind,
boost it, right?
yeah, just to like talk to people. It's interesting too because like for example, like I guess there's a button on Kickstarter where you can like uh just get notified like a week or so before it ends, right? Because it's a whole month. So that's another thing. It's another little bit of a challenge, I guess, with a crowdfund is like, it's a month. It's a snapshot of a month and how hard you push inside of a month. So like there's a lot of people that are like, I'll get him at the end, you know what I mean? So like, you can sit there and like start sweating, like, oh shit, like our speed, and it's like a stock. You see it just like, and then you start doing things to like, blow the lineup. But I mean, it's literally like anything. I mean, like a ticket sale on a tour is exactly like this. The day they go on sale, boom, chopped off. And then you have to grind every post, and then there might be a big event. And then you'll get a big push at the end, because all these people kind of last minute kind of thing. And
Mhm.
that's just the way it is. It's fun. It's exciting. I mean, I mean, we've been doing it this way because I mean, if I didn't like it, I'd stop doing it. It's a lot of work, but it's the only way we can raise the money to bring the product that we believe we should have, right? Because I mean, like I said, it's a bad industry, so it's just like we haven't really. I mean, we've gotten a bunch of really tiny opportunities, tiny, not really tiny opportunities. We've gotten a bunch of opportunities, but we just haven't had that like earth-shattering like moment yet, and I believe that's a few of those are going to come with this record, opportunity-wise for us. I'm pretty confident with it. But that's why we spent all the money and the time writing it, and we spent like I mean several extra weeks with people not revising music, but like getting opinions from producers. I mean Jim, I don't know how much you know about the Morrisound people, but Jim, we spent a lot of time with Jim, even with just like the chordal the chords of the songs, like in the choruses, like how to make them as hooky and memorable as possible. Um, Another thing we tried to do on this record was we tried to push ourselves away from like the symphonic side of like, people still call us, oh, that symphonic power metal band. It's like, no, like there's not a single symphony. Like I want no orchestra behind me whatsoever. Like all the noise that's on there is mostly just like synth, like cool, like retro, like synthesizer sounds and stuff. Uh, so it's just we try to also go like a lot more aggressive, you know what I mean? So it's like actually this guitar comparison gave us a fleet of new guitars to tune down. So like 6 out of the 8 new songs on the record are in like drop A sharp. So it's like heavy. Like there's a lot of like heavy aggressive stuff, and we think that this is what's going to separate us a bit from that symphonic style and just make us like an American power metal band, and we're trying to really like push that title, I guess, this cycle, and I think the music will show for it for sure. So I mean, you'll hear it. I'm excited for you to hear
Yeah,
it.
me too. I'm dying to
I'm
hear it.
hoping I mean, it's a very heavy power metal record. Like, it's just like I have a lot of like, you know, not death metal, not like blast beat stuff, but just like, I mean, honestly, like, like cataclysmy, a little bit of like hypocrisy, you know what I mean? Like that kind of melodic death stuff is in there, and a little bit of metalcore. I grew up on it, and I mean, everybody in the band enjoyed it. So it's just a lot more dynamic. We have a bunch of hits on there, I think, and it's really good. Lots of earworms, like more so
That's
than I
good.
think we've ever had. So it was a very hit and melody focused record for this. So
You also worked with Francesco of
yeah, yeah,
Windrose
that's right. Yeah, yeah, no.
and VBO now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, so like we when we were part of the time that we had, we spent a lot of time, a lot of the money went into demos and just like actually having controlled and polished time to go in and out of the studio so we could have these a fresh set of ears that have done all these records. Obviously, Windrose is worth billions of streams, or maybe not billions, but almost a billion streams. It's crazy, together. But
It is
like,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's like Francesco, Cam, let me listen to it. Okay. But it's just like it's Francesco himself, like, because we obviously work really close together and I do all the VBO stuff with him. He's got the eye, he's got the ear, he's got the voice. So it's just like we sat in what was it, the summer festivals last year when Rose did like whack into Summer Breeze. Vakin, sorry. That's my Florida coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah, walk into Summer Breeze, and we had like a week off, like 4 or 5 days in Bremen when all of us were just like in a hotel. And like that whole entire week, like we were there and we like kind of rearranged some stuff and it was like it's really simple. It was really simple things. Like it's just like there's too many riffs in the song. Throw them away. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's more focused. So it's just like that happened on a couple things. Like simple little things like this really glue everything together when it's finally everything's layered on top of it, you know? And that's stuff we didn't have before. And like I said, we spent a lot of time with Jim. Even I mean, and it was honestly we did the same thing with Jim after we did the stuff with Francesco, and that was maybe 2 days because we were all really happy, kind of where we were at. We did a couple. Uh, there's more like key changes technically in the music that we normally wouldn't have done. That was like, Jim's like, why don't you do this here? And I was just like, like it just flows better, and it's something I like, little dumb shit that you never would have thought of that a fresh set of ears will do.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's stuff that's like, damn, why didn't I think of that? It's just like it's so obvious at some point. It's just like, oh wow. And then, we also did we we spent the time essentially like Sabrina went in and the vocals were I mean, we usually write with Jim the vocals. So we'll come in with like, a rough set of lyrics that we chop down and then they sketch melodies until they're happy. But then we had the time to like she recorded the record. We went away for a month and a half. She karaoke'd with herself and then she came back and redid all of it. So like that was the whole idea is like she got to sing against herself versus the like she had a polished demo, so she knew exactly what she was doing, and then could almost capture that live moment because she had time to sing on it. Where a lot of singers like, oh, it's written, and then you go in and sing it, and that's one thing. Like the music should be recorded after you tour on it, because like after you play it in front of people a bunch of time,
You
like
know what? It
like
works.
stuff changes that you
Yeah.
do like little things, and I really wish like we could record records like after we toured on it because like you would get a slightly different product just after it's been pounded on the stage
Yeah.
every night kind of thing.
Well, and you
Yeah,
guys are
those
such
are the
a
big.
you guys
Yeah.
are such a fun, energetic band live.
Yeah.
Um, it's impossible to go to a show and not be like, not have a good time. Like you guys are a good time.
I mean, we're just, I mean, simple, regular ass people that just play metal, or I think coming from like down here, I mean, like all of us, this is all we do. Like, we always ask ourselves, like, oh, it's like, go get a job. It's like, okay. Like, I mean, back then, I mean, we're much better off now than we were, but like, it's like, well, what are we going to do? This is what we do. Like, I'm going to do, it's like deliver pizzas or shred, So, like, it's, we enjoy what we do, and we wouldn't see ourselves doing anything else. It's not that's the difference between, also a bunch of hired guns versus a bunch of people that are in it to win it. It's their own brand. So I think, you start losing some of this, the more people that are just become hired, they can always act it, but if it's their own, like it's a different thing.
I agree. I was going to ask you because you said that you're hoping that it comes out this year. So you don't have yet a release date for when the album will come out?
Well, we're waiting on a potential tour and somewhere in like October, November. And then once we get that kind of that should be decided in the next week or so, I think, hopefully. And if it doesn't go one way, we, pivot and go another way kind of thing. So if both of those pivots don't work, then it would potentially maybe we would even hold it. I don't know. I'm not sure if we would hold it. That's Maurizio's decision.
He's the
So
Godfather.
yeah, pretty much. So that'll be a decision. I mean, that we all take, but like eventually he'll make a suggestion, which will likely follow. But
Strong suggestion.
yeah, but I mean, in the perfect world, like we're gonna get that tour, it's gonna be good, and then we're gonna once that's figured out, we look backwards at distribution and duplication, and
But
try
would
to
you want to
find a
have
street
the
base.
album out prior to the tour, or would
I
you
would
look
love
at
it to
having it
drop like the
afterwards?
week before. I mean, in a perfect world, it would drop
Would be
like the week
before.
before or on or in the first week, just so because they're gonna release a couple of videos. We're planning on doing I think 2 videos, 3 videos in a visualizer, right? The the two of them will run. They're the two videos, and the visualizer will run all the way up through release day, and then we're gonna hold. We did a cover song. I mean, it's gonna get released, but the video for that we're gonna wait to kind of put that in front of like a big tour maybe next year, just as some small ammo. But it should come out this year. We're ready for it. It's I delivered it already. And I mean, that's probably even more delivering it to whom is probably more like information than I should even say right now. But like it's done. We're just literally waiting on to see if it lines up with the tour or not and to pivot from there. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we will be talking about, I'm sure, in a second round after this stuff
Yeah,
starts.
I mean, there's so many moving pieces. It's kind of crazy.
It is. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with where we're at because we'll have a conversation later in a few months, I'm sure, where I'll be like, "Ah, I remember I told you there was some weird stuff. Well, not weird, but like, stuff that I don't know if I can just like flat out come out and say it yet." But
Well, I hope you get the tour because I would assume that you
yeah.
guys would come to town and then we could talk in person and dive a little bit deeper into what's going on at that time.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like I said, this campaign, I mean, it's the first part. So it's like this ends on the June 26th. And essentially, as soon as this campaign ends, we hand it over. So there'll be a lot of news. All the rest of the stuff that I haven't announced yet is going to come out and get pushed. So the it's a cool time in the industry. As rough as it is, it's a really cool time, at least in North America in the industry right now, and I find it exciting more than terrifying. I know a lot of people. Actually, I saw an interview with Misha from Periphery, and he was just like talking about how like music is no longer a viable term of like stuff, and I was like, yeah, sure, like, but I guess, you know what I mean? It's just like you're off like,
You can still make it
I like
work.
Periphery. I like Periphery a lot. I have no shade against Misha, but it's just like, the way I see that is it's just like, you have the chess pieces. Like, do you want to play or not? You can sit at home and like cry as much as you want that like there's no opportunities, or you can try to forge them yourself, and like, I mean we've busted our ass all these years. So it's just like I kind of take that challenge and like the people that can't keep up, like it's just
Man,
more space for us. You know what
since
I
I've
mean?
known you, like if there's one thing I can say is you guys have never shied away from hard work. Pushing stuff, going on tours, either like you said, either touring with the band, playing shows with the band, or just working tours with other bands. You've never been afraid of some heavy lifting, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just, but I mean, that's the only thing that works, It's just like I don't take no for an answer when it comes to like our music, at least, And it's just like I know, like looking back, especially with this record, I know what we changed and the chances we took, and I think they were really good. And I think we're armed now with what will open a lot of new doors. I mean, it's the still. I mean, it sounds like the band, but like there's a lot of cool stuff on there that is like fresh and like. Oh, I mean, I know we bring a little bit of that, but there's a lot. So I mean, Maurizio is happy with it, and I know that the other powers that be are happy with it. So everybody's going to be behind it I mean, and for the whole cycle. So it's really exciting. Like I said, it's just it sucks. I can't really give out much, and that's
No?
the things with the crowdfund, right? Is like you have to scale it to where you think you can. Only reason like if this is advice to a young band, the only
Yeah,
reason
that's what I was going to ask
scrapping.
you. What advice do you have for a band like
Yeah.
starting off and thinking maybe of following into these kind of footsteps?
Yeah, I mean, even the bands that we manage that like are more of our grassroots side of Heart at Impact that, are my bands essentially, like, the young ones that are about to take this step, you know, the general thing I tell them is like, you scale down, right? You would get $0 from a label. Be happy with 5 or 10 thousand dollars. Where else are you going to get it, right? If you crush it, you crush it. The next record, you look at the data and you change it. And the next, you just keep you have and it sucks because it's like we only do this on record cycles, right? So I never do a crowdfund for hardship. I mean, we were stranded. I asked people to go hit the merch store. It's just like we don't do like a formal fund only on the records, right? So it's a serious moment, and that's what I preach to these bands, and it's just like scale it, make sure that you know the people that would fund it, right? When you're first starting, like, everybody starts with their family and their friends, and the people that they know, and like, make sure that you can hit it. I enjoy using it out of the platforms. I enjoy using Kickstarter because you take the risk of not hitting the goal and all of it goes away. Right. So it shows a little bit more. I mean, personally, I mean, I have no idea how many other people think this way, but like personally, it shows more risk than like GoFundMe, right? Because you're just gonna
Mhm.
get whatever you get. It shows a little bit more mark of confidence, I think, in the product that people are supposed to pledge for. Um, but really that's it. It's just and also going through having to fulfill these yourselves, it teaches you a lot about what a record label does. Like, where are we going to store all these t-shirts and these CDs? And like once you start getting 500 or 1,000 vinyl and like 2,000 CDs and like 1,000 shirts, it fills up half of a garage. Like, do you have the space? That's when you start like, oh shit, man, we need some help, and that's when like the tides turn and you actually need the infrastructure. So it's different. You start looking at a label as a service rather than a label to make us big because you are already kind of doing that. If you have the management and booking, like you don't need the label to start. I mean, it helps, but like you can totally do it all. I mean, we did it all ourselves with the
Mhm.
management, booking, crowdfund. We're here. Label just kind of started stepping in, with like the square, so that's pretty much where we're at. But that would be my advice: is start small, structure it, and then build from there. If you choose to do the crowdfunding thing, think about it as a multi-release, several year. I mean, we've done it over 10 years now, so that would be my advice. It's just to start small and then build from there. You can't beat data.
No, and you're kind of like behind your own steering wheel, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, you can totally screw it up, right? You just have to make sure that, you know,
Well,
I mean,
everything is
luckily,
on you. Everything is on you.
yeah, everything's on you. You got to make sure you price like shipping is a big deal, It's like you have to price that in, depending on how you handle it. So like that's what I'm saying. Like the we spent, I don't know, 15, a little over 15, 16,000 on like the actual recording and the time and the bill, anything that touched recording, right? And that line item, just like that's only like what, a third of, or not even. Yeah, well, it's a quarter of the main goal, right? And then the rest is like merch and vinyl, and shipping, Kickstarter fees, credit card fees, and like all that stuff. So it adds up real quick, So I was crazy. Like, what was it? Winter Sun did the like I think it was like 400 grand off of a digital download.
Yeah,
It was like there was no physical product, and like they
half
just
a
like
million. I think it got close to half a million.
that was crazy. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a powerful thing. Look at Archspire. I mean, those are the
That's a good
boys.
example too.
It's like we're still. It'd be funny if we could do the Kickstarter after what we're about to do the next 2 years, right? But and see what happens. But like we're here. But the Archspire people, like they really crushed that thing. Like
So
in
let me ask you this: what would it take for you? Let's look into the future. What would it take for you for the next album, not this one, but for the next one, what would it take for you to not do it this way and change to the more perhaps archaic way of doing, which is hand everything over to the label, let them deal with
we're
everything?
we're very close. So and it's funny, I had this talk with Maurizio recently, short one, but it was like we're the crowd fund, if you separated it, right? If you actually took the line items apart and they were split differently, we would need to cover the CD and vinyl duplication and the recording costs. So that would essentially be your advance. So, like we're getting close. I think, I mean, for sure, at the next record, like someone's gonna offer that. You know what I mean? And I'll have the choice to do I do all the work or do I hand everything over, but I think still I'm always a happy medium guy. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably plan to do if we were to do it, I would do the regular traditional release, right? And we would get everything paid for, which is, oh, finally, it took 22 years to just like have someone write me a damn check to get it recorded, you know? And then, and for the videos and all this stuff, right? And then like we would just put the shirts up as a pre, just like the merch would just go up for a pre-order shortly, and then we'd take sizes and order more, and then fulfill it on the release day. It wouldn't be different. It was just like, it would look, I mean, I guess it would be traditional, but I would still roll out like the merch packages that we have on our end. I would
Yeah,
never
yeah, yeah.
release that all to a third party because like we have I bought the shed for like our like warehouse, like the Kickstarter videos like in our shed, and that houses Striker and a bunch of Hard Impact stuff, already. So like, we're especially at Hard Impact, like that's going to be growing quite a bit, I think, over the next 5 to 10 years too. So um we'll have some space to navigate the modern music industry as far as storage in Florida. I hope that'd be really good for everybody.
Well, I'm gonna, Cam, first of all, thank you for taking the time as always. I mean, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Mhm.
The name of
Yeah,
the
thank you
album,
for
by the
having
way,
me.
is Sono Sola, which I didn't ask you, but now that I mentioned the name, where did you get the inspiration? This is very different from previous album titles, I gotta say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. I mean, it's kind of like we joke that it's kind of like Sabrina's heel turn, right? If it was like in wrestling, right? It's like everything's darker. She's meaner on the record, you'll hear it. I mean, there's soft and sweet moments, but like, she's angy, mad angy piss. She says,
She's
you
gone
know.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan from the regular Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, yeah, maybe like the Dark Hulk. What was that like? Just like NWO Hulk Hogan,
NWO, yeah,
Hollywood.
it was
Yeah,
Hollywood,
Hollywood.
Hollywood
Oh,
Hulk
okay,
Hogan.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So something like that, So it's like it's we're gonna take a more serious pace. I know we always said it's like, oh, like don't take yourself serious, but it's just like, I mean, I agree with even Mauricio thinks this way too. It's just it's like we're not things are very serious right now, or you know what I mean? So that's one thing we also haven't necessarily tried. I mean, obviously we're gonna have a great time, but it's just like, we're also personally, a little bit kind of, I don't know, sometimes we feel looked over a little bit, you know what I mean? I mean, whether it's us, whether it's the music, whether it's something else, I think everything that we did on this record is going to address that. And I just have that gut feeling that like, like this is the one that's gonna like kind of like finally like we've been hitting our heads on that glass ceiling like this for like several years. I mean, we got there, but now it's time to go through it. And I
Break
think
it.
this is the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is definitely the music that would do it, I believe. So and the team. I have the infrastructure finally. So like that's a really powerful thing. So that's what we're doing. But I mean, yeah, I can't wait for you to hear it. Thank you for taking the time and
No, man,
having
my
an
pleasure.
interest in
I'm
it.
I'm gonna put the links
Yeah.
in the description of this video, so when people are checking out our chat, they can click on the crowdfunding,
Yeah.
Kickstarter. Ah, man,
Yeah.
these all these names. They can click on it and then and go hit you guys up for it. So all the information, I'm gonna put everything that you guys have currently available out there. I'm gonna put in the description of this video, so it's like a one-stop shop. You get to hear
Yeah,
our
yeah, yeah, that'd
chat
be sick.
and you get to click on everything and
Yeah.
get to support you guys. Cam, man, thank you for your time. I'll see Mauricio before I see you because he's gonna be in town with Cataclysm and 6 Feet Under touring
I'll be
together.
there.
Oh, you're gonna be here?
I'm TM merch guy, backline. They're taking my bus. Like,
All right,
yeah.
so I guess I was gonna say I'm gonna see him before I see you. I guess I'm gonna see both of you.
You're gonna be talking to me before you talk to him, probably, because he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's
"Damn,
true.
where's the
That's
interview?"
that's true. That's
So,
true. I'll definitely be
yeah, yeah,
talking to
yeah,
you then. All right, so I'll see
yeah,
you in Toronto in a month or so. I think it's
yeah,
June or July. I can't remember.
yeah. Oh, I forgot one little Easter egg with the title, because everybody I work with is Italian, right? Now, so it's just like we were doing the lyrics for the song "Sono Sola" for the record, and I couldn't get anything to rhyme. I couldn't get the lines to rhyme the way I wanted them to rhyme. And then Sono Sono is just like simply just like I'm alone, right? but it's got an A because Sabrina's, female. So it's just like, it was Sono Solo if it was me, Sono Sola if it's
Sola,
her.
yeah. Portuguese is
So
the
that's
same.
why it's an A. So essentially we had to the song sounded better with those in Italian. And then like the second sentence up also has the word in shadows in Italian. So it's nell'ombra and then sono sola. It rhymes. So that was the big funny thing, like when we came back with the demos with the Windrose guys and even Maurizio, right? Because they're all Italian. So they're like, like he's Italian. So they were really like happy with it, and I don't know. It's a cool little Easter egg for us because like those are our boys and stuff. So
I think that's a really nice touch. Really nice touch.
yeah.
I like it. I like it. All right, man. I'll see you on that tour. We'll talk more because there'll be more stuff coming out by then. So
Oh
we'll
yeah.
talk more.
When is that?
And
June in July
I
8th.
think it's July, and the Toronto show is in July.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe the first song will be. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. There'll be a lot more stuff out there anyway. So
All right. I'll see you in Toronto, man.
yeah, thank you very much, man.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
My pleasure. See ya.
See you, bro.